Hey, you're watching Airspace Media's press coverage at When We Were Young, sponsored by All That Raz. For emo t-shirts, stickers, and other goodies, make sure to check them out. I'll have a link in the description. And now, let's get to another interview at When We Were Young. For Airspace Media, I'm Matt Vatisse, and we're with The Cab. How's it going, guys?
Going great, man. Happy to be at When We Were Young. It's a dream.
I was going to say, so When We Were Young, the way that I've always looked at it is a way of saying, hey, you influenced all of these people's music tastes growing up, and now there's, 80,000 people coming into the festival for the weekend. I'm curious if you look at it that way as well, or how you feel about that.
I mean, we were talking earlier, it's really a full circle thing for us because we are here as fans because so many artists that we listen to, I mean, our favorite bands are playing tonight, right? Mm-hmm. So we're fans. And then we're here with our friends who we've toured with over the past, decade or two. So it's a high school reunion in a way. And then you have young bands coming up to you saying, oh my God, I listened to you and you inspired my band. So it's like this complete full circle moment. I mean, Panic at the Disco signed us to our first record deal when we were 17 years old. So us seeing a Fever, Can't Sweat Out is a dream for us, but also again, a full circle moment. Mm-hmm. And then I'm hoping they play a few new songs because I ended up writing a Panic at the Disco song. So I'm hoping I get to see that for the first time live. So it really is like this crazy
full circle.
Yeah, for all of us, I think.
That's incredible. So you guys took a hiatus for quite some time and have come back now, sort of where we're sort of at almost like the height of where the scene is right now. What's that like coming back into something that has garnered more attention than it ever has?
Take that. So I think what's beautiful about this scene, to me, this scene has always been about two things. It's camaraderie and vulnerability. And the reason people love emo music is because people are speaking on their actual feelings and things that they're going through. And people are, people that are listening are going I can relate to that. Like that is someone who's on a stage who's feeling the exact same way I am. And I was too afraid to say it, but they are. Mm-hmm. So that's what's beautiful about the scene. And then also, I think more than almost any other scene it's if someone's hurting next to you or if someone's going through something, you put your arm around them. Yeah. And, everyone's going through stuff in life. And this scene was something that brought everyone together to, if you're going through something painful, if you're going through a struggle, you have these concerts and you have these people that you meet at the concerts and you can come together for one joint love for something. And so to me, that is what the scene represents. And When We Were Young is such a massive nucleus representation of all of that. So
you were going to say something?
Another thing that was so cool, with this scene, this was pre-social media, Instagram, and all of that. So it's there was this feeling of when you found a band during the early 2000s, it was it almost felt like it was your band that you found.
Yeah.
And now bands are so accessible online, but that culture from the early 2000s it's still there. So
it's like you found that little gem.
Yeah, you found a gem. And last night we played a side show, and there were people flying in from Japan, Australia, Chile, and they were we've waited for this, and those people found us back then.
Pure Volume in 06.
Yeah, they're no, yeah, I had a girl last night. She was you were in my MySpace 8. Yeah, and I was you're OG. And that, it's more accessible now, but that culture never died. It's a family. So,
yeah. It stays alive within that millennial era. I was going to say, you kind of touched a little bit on, the mental health side of things and going through a tough time and how that scene has been there for you. So what do you have to say to the Cab fans that may be going through some tough times right now? It's not an easy time, that are happy that you guys have gotten back together doing this, that maybe can't make it out to When We Were Young?
That's loaded, man. It's just everything comes in phases, you know what I mean? And you got to find the release. You got to stay vulnerable and, stay courageous, take care of yourself first. I don't know the amount of times last night we all were just telling oh, my therapist does this, my therapist does that. We're just sharing these jokes and being vulnerable together and bringing it back to the scene. That's what makes it magical. It is a vulnerable place to be, and realizing just like life, just like taking a break and coming back together, it is a phase, and you do have control of it, and it's different for everyone, but you just got to keep going through and take care of yourself as best you can, bump the music.
Yeah.
Ask for help and be there for each other.
Yeah.
I love that. It's taking care of yourself is one of those things where it's that's the one thing that everyone should be doing.
There's
so
no
I love
shame.
that that's the
in
message.
2025, there's no shame in seeking therapy or asking your friends for help or, I take really big pride in like my friend circle, because if something's wrong, we're not afraid to say something's wrong. I'm not afraid to call any of my friends and say, hey man, I'm having a hard day or a hard year. You know what I mean? And I think this day and age, it is a lot easier. The world's so chaotic. And I think that, you know, your brain can get filled up with so many different things from so many different places that if you don't talk to people and if you don't, like Joey said, give yourself some sort of release and find a way. I mean, things are hard, and it's hard for everybody. It's harder, obviously, for some more than others, but everyone's going through something, and you're never alone in what you're going through. So you just got to remember that.
I appreciate you saying that. I'm sure a lot of your fans are going to appreciate you saying that as well. I'll get the conversation back onto music as well. But that was a very awesome moment to go through that. But, you know, after coming back from the hiatus and now looking back at everything, there's a lot of nostalgia rooted in this festival. Do you ever get nostalgic playing your older songs from back in the day? Like, how does the nostalgia work for you guys as a band?
Absolutely. I mean, last night at the When We Were Young sideshow we did with Story of the Year, we played 2 songs specifically that I think it's been 20 years. Like, we wrote as like teenagers, and it was crazy feeling. I think the person I wrote one of the songs about in high school was there. I got told after the show, and I was like, oh my God. Like,
my 17-year-old crush was there.
I mean, it's crazy. So for us, I mean, obviously it comes in waves, and there's like a song called I'll Run, for example, that is pretty much what Panic at the Disco and Fall Out Boy signed us, was because of I'll Run and Take My Hand. We played both of those songs last night. And seeing kids sing it, and then you kind of go back to being in high school when you were writing those songs in like chemistry class, like me writing like lyrics instead of studying, and us being in like garages and practicing. And of course, it's just a wave of nostalgia, a wave of gratitude, and a wave of excitement and happiness.
Does it feel weird, or does it keep you young to be playing songs that you wrote when you were 17?
I don't think it's ever weird. I don't think we're ever ashamed or embarrassed. I mean, songs are chapters in a book, you know, and you hope the book's a long book, you know, in your life. And I'm excited. I mean, it's fun. You look back and you're like, I don't even understand what that lyric meant. Like, you know, you try to put yourself back in that mindset of like, what was I thinking or going through when I wrote that? But for the most part, like, I don't know, it's awesome. Like, I have a 2-year-old daughter, you know, Marsh has a few kids, and you're watching them grow up. And then these songs are just kind of like, you know, when your parents like get the pencil and like on the door frame, and they're, you know what I mean? Like, those are like songs, and you get older and you have those like things that are just reminiscent of who you used to be. And I think it's beautiful.
I think that's a beautiful way of putting it. I want to know what is next and what can people expect next from the Cab?
Yeah, so we just released our Road to Rain EP, and that is the prelude to a full length that's coming out next year. And with the All Time Low tour that we're on right now, you know, it's not a reunion, it's a reboot. So we're going back out next year.
I love that. So you got to keep an eye out for the Cab. We're hanging out with them backstage at When We Were Young, Our Space Media. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow along on all of our channels as well. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, man. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Pleasure.